He started by saying he wanted to emphasize Texans' inspiring response to Harvey's flooding and destruction. He's right. It was something to behold, selfless and at times courageous. Neighbors helped neighbors, even at their own peril. They didn't hesitate. They didn't take a few days to think it over. They just helped. Abbott could learn something from that example. At the press conference Friday, Mayor Sylvester Turner thanked Abbott for the money he had been asking for. Turner says it's needed for debris removal and other recovery efforts. Without the check, Turner had warned, the city would need a one-time property tax hike that would have cost the average Houston house $48. Check in hand, Turner immediately took the tax hike off the table, although he stressed that the city's financial struggle will continue for some time. No one knows what the final bill will be. For the first time in history, Turner said, the city exceeded its $100 million insurance coverage, and he estimated the bill for damaged public facilities could reach $175 million. The mayor and the governor shook hands and talked of working on the same team, wearing the same jersey, fighting the real battles ahead instead of each other. On camera, it was a nice display of unity. In reality, it rang hollow. Translator. To read this article in one of Houston's most spoken languages, click on the button below. Chingongai 1/4. Lisa Falkenberg. Governor Greg Abbott, right, and Mayor Sylvester Turner praise each other for working together as a team during a joint press conference at Houston City Hall. Frida Abbott presented a $50 million check from the state to assist Houston with Hurricane Harvey relief. Yichinli Houston Chronicle. Governor Abbott finally comes through with $50 million relief money. Nelita Trinidad talks about the destruction of her home in Montebello, Puerto Rico, in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, Tuesday, September 26, 2017. 5 days after the Category 4 storm slammed into Puerto Rico, many of the more than 3.4 million U.S. citizens in the territory were still without adequate food, water and fuel. Flights off the island were infrequent, communications were spotty, and roads were clogged with debris. Officials said electrical power may not be fully restored for more than a month. AP photo. Gerald Herbert, Falkenberg. Mainland ignorance about Puerto Rico can cost lives. Texas Speaker of the House Joe Straus greets supporters as he arrives for a luncheon in his honor, Tuesday, September 12, 2017, at La Valida in San Antonio. Darren Abbott for the Express News. Confederate Texans' own words reveal Black's falsehoods. Houston Chronicle columnist Lisa Falkenberg, June 2015, in Houston, Texas. Billy Smith to Houston Chronicle, as support for Ike Dike grows, we still need stubborn boosters, volunteers, and first responders work together to rescue residents from rising floodwaters in Houston. Scott Claus, The Daily Advertiser via AP, we must act now before the next Harvey, or worse. Why did it take the governor so long to see what to many of us is as plain as the piles of wood and sheetrock still cluttering sidewalks across town? 51 inches of rain falling on a city in a matter of days is, in fact, a rainy day, one of historic proportions. As such, it should qualify for a sliver of assistance from the state's nearly $11 billion rainy day fund. Not later. Not in 2019. Now. Instead, Abbott belittled the mayor's written request for help. Abbott suggested Turner was panicking by asking for the money. Abbott, a Republican, accused the mayor, a Democrat, of taking Harvey recovery hostage just to raise taxes. Abbott claimed the mayor has all the money that he needs and argued Turner could use funding from tax increment investment zones. The claim is incorrect for several reasons, not least of which Turner doesn't control TIR's funds, independent boards do. First, state funding. Abbott tried to suggest that the state had already given Houston money when the state served only as a pass-through for federal funds. Turner's office said Friday's check was the first storm-related funding directly from the state that the city had received. Early on, Abbott said he wouldn't call a special session to grant Houston relief funds, which is somewhat understandable considering the toxic sludge of legislation that would resurface if those floodgates were opened again. Hint: bathroom bill. But Abbott had other options to help Houston, including the one he eventually chose. Abbott says the check came from the governor's own disaster relief fund. Why he didn't do that in the first place is a mystery. "I just didn't understand it," said John Diamond, Kelly Fellow in Public Finance at Rice University's Baker Institute. "It was the perfect use of the money. He absolutely needed to give it to us, and that makes 1,000 times more sense than raising property taxes on people who had their houses destroyed."